Hi friends, I don't know if this is playing yet, but we just thought we would come on for a little while and wish people happy holidays and please feel free to drop in and say hello. For some reason I can't see the actual live stream, so I wonder, Dee Dee, if you could possibly send me the link to the live stream so I can have a look at what people might be saying in the comments section. So if you can hear a little purring in the background, that's Nandi. Nandi has been taking opportunities to sit on my lap. Anytime I sit down in the chair, he wants to kind of sit on my lap at the moment. I think he probably knows there's something not quite right with me. Anyway, I'm just waiting for Dee Dee to send me the the link. Oh, Holly. Hi, Holly. Is that Holly? Oh, here it is. Now it's here. Yeah. For some reason, I get delayed. That's fine. There's some reason I sometimes get delayed. Huh. Hi, Holly. I had to decide whether I wanted to do this tonight because I'm still quite scrumpled and a bit broken, to say the least, by recent events and stuff. But I just thought it might be nice for Dee Dee and I to just come on for a little while and say hello and see how everybody's going. And because sometimes sometimes these times of year are, a little bit difficult for some people, and it can just be that way. And so we're back in No Man's Sky. Will you be doing anything for the holiday period, Dee Dee? Sorry, Holly, what am I asking you, Dee Dee? Oh, Dee Dee, Holly, yeah, thank you, Holly. And Dee Dee, she made some lovely special fruitcake. I know that there are a lot of Americans that think that fruitcake is rubbish. It might be the dislike of the British, I don't know. But anyway, there's a lot of Australians like fruitcake. Anyway, so Dee Dee made this Christmas cake for our neighbours. We have a number of people in our street. And so she was doing a little Santy drop of of Christmas cake, weren't you, Dee Dee? To various... Oh, Nandi's getting a bit he must be getting a bit grumpy for some reason. So she dropped off some cake to different people in the street, so that was nice. And I said to Dee Dee, Dee Dee asked me what I thought of this cake, because she's made a cake prior to that, which we kind of polished off, and it was a lot more boozy than this one. And I said, yeah. Yes, it says, excuse me, Dee Dee has been marinating the rum. Is that the word, marinating? Is that the word, marinate? Marinating the fruit. Marinating the fruit. And for a while, and yes, it's used a lot of rum. Hey, Dee Dee. And So anyway, and then one of the neighbors who we hadn't met before, we had met his partner. Yes, and walking by. Yeah, but we'd never met her partner, and he is so lovely. He came up after Dee Dee had dropped off the cake, and he sort of gave us some. He has a brewery in where did he have the brewery? Anyway, and they make these sort of ales, so fruit ales, yeah, fruit alcohol sort of thing. And so he gave us these very sort of swanky looking black cans. Yeah. What's the name of the brewery, Didi? Oh, hang on, I've got it written down here. Oh yeah, something like that. Hang on, where did I put it? Hang on a sec. It's the Welcome Swallow Brewery. Yeah. So anyway, that's he has that brewery, which I think is. It's funny how and then we have other neighbours down the road who have a don't mention the name of the winery, Didi. But I only say that just because this is a public live stream and I don't really want people to know where we live. But anyway, they have a winery nearby, and it's yes, we have several wineries. So they have one, and so it's interesting. People have different businesses and stuff. And the amount of work that goes into those pruning of those the pruning of those grapevines is amazing, isn't it? Like I said to the fellow who was in the winery, he started off pruning them, and there was just hundreds. It looked like hundreds of little vines. And I just said hello to him, and I said, "Wow, that's a lot of work." And he said, "Yes, I just do it like one by one. I don't think about the amount of vines I have to do. I just do it one by one." Yeah. So, is our audio okay, Holly? Do you know? Oh no, is your mic on?
It's not.
Oh no.
No, it is.
Yeah. Didi didn't have a mic
Again,
on.
I didn't have my mic on.
Oh. So anyway, hopefully somebody can hear that through my microphone. Anyway, I don't know why Nandi got a bit grumpy then for some reason. Sometimes sometimes little cats, when you're patting them a lot, and they get a tiny bit of pet aggression for some reason. That seems to happen. I forgot to send out a little note to people. And then I made tiramisu just not a couple of days ago, and I ended up eating way too much of it.
That's because we found out she made tiramisu. We had a piece, and then she found out her brother had died.
Yeah, and then I ended up eating way too much.
Eating tiramisu because
yeah,
we couldn't be bothered making food.
Yes, I mean I never eat something like that early in the morning, but because I made it in the morning, I thought, oh well, I'll have some. And then after the news, then I was eating it a lot, wasn't I? All day.
We both were.
Anyway, yeah. Not the healthiest thing to do. Gee, the colours in this are pretty, aren't they?
Yeah. I'm in the Atlas interface at the moment.
Honestly, I just can't get it together to send out an email. Maybe I'll just put it in the community tab. Oh, did you just burp? Did you just burp, little one? Eh? Ali is sitting on my lap now. It's just
Ali
a little cavalcade of caddies go from one.
Our little queen.
She's become, in the last 2 years, she's gone from being sort of
very gritchy,
very, very gritchy and kind of a bit aggressive since we adopted her to all the edges are kind of being smoothed off because she's trusting us a lot more now. It's taken a couple of years, though.
She's turning into a little smudge.
Yeah, she's turning into a little smudge.
We have our own special language.
Yeah.
Smudge, gritchy.
Yeah.
It's generally pretty. You can gather what it means by the sound.
Yeah. I'll put my microphone up to her purring. It's really deep, and she's only a little cat.
Yeah, she's tiny.
Cat mother's lap, isn't it, hey? Sweetie bee.
What?
I was just talking to Alia.
Yeah.
Yeah, cavalcade of cats. Yeah, it's just a little... Like, sometimes I'll be doing stuff and I don't even notice that somebody's just jumped into my lap. Like, I look down and I think, when did that happen? It's just sort of... And, you know, they'll take turns, sort of, hey, Nandi. Nandi's looking at me now and sort of like, how did that happen?
Why is she on there?
So I had a little bit of
That's my cat mother.
So I got a little bit grumpy and got down. That doesn't mean somebody has to take over. Of course, we're projecting all that. We're anthropomorphizing
Yes.
right now, but so sometimes it's fun to tell little stories.
Yeah.
What was I going to do? I was going to put that in the community tab, hey?
Calming purr, yes. She has the deepest purr.
Excuse me.
But Anjushri, who is unfortunately no longer with us, she lived a long life, but she's no longer with us. She had the most amazing purr. It was just like the ocean. Like it was waves coming over, and it was just... Don't you think, Trish?
What's that, Diddy?
Just the oceanic purr of
yes.
Anjushri.
And Alia...
Alia just has a deep purr.
Alia has, such a deep purr. Oh, Carly, actually, Carly, that's, how do you say that name? Nothi Seaton, just posted a nice comment on that last video, and I... So what's happening in the game, Didi?
I'm in an Atlas interface.
Okay.
Which means that I'm talking to the computer.
Talking to the computer.
Yeah. This is the computer that kind of rules the universe, really. And it has these interfaces here and there.
Excuse me. Yes, Holly, we were we we had a look into how much the flights were to the Gold Coast at this time, and firstly the cost was like $700 one way just for one person, which is kind of almost like twice as much as it normally is, isn't it, Dee Dee?
What's
The
that?
flights are like twice as much as they normally
yes,
are.
yes.
So
Well,
it would have
usually
been
you can get discounts that make it okay. I don't know what full price usually is, but I think yes. I think they're usually about half of what they are at the moment.
right. And I see. So anyway, it was going to be like $3,000 just for the flights to get up to the Gold Coast, and then that's just the flights, and then there's everything else, and it was just like just putting aside all the other things that I mentioned in that video. It just is like cost prohibitive. It's just insanely too expensive for us to get there. And Holly says, Jera Brown said, "Hi Jera, I mean you seem to be everywhere. This is good in a ASMR galactic kind of way." And Holly said, there's a Star Trek episode where Barclay interfaces and almost becomes TYE computer AI. They separated them.
Oh yeah. Yes, I have to say I was never very fond of the Barclay episodes.
Not really. I wonder how Ginny is. I
do
haven't
remember
seen
that,
her for a while.
that one though.
What's that?
That was the one where he kind of almost became the computer, and
Oh, really?
yeah,
Like Barclay?
yeah.
I don't remember
That
that.
was, I think, one of the first episodes that had him in it,
I don't remember that.
and it was in Enterprise, Next Generation.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you've seen any of the Picard episodes, Holly.
Oh, the new,
The new Picard.
yeah.
I don't know when they're bringing the second season out, but we're not really fans of it. I think I'd end up hate watching it if I watched any more of it. Just ruining the whole Star Trek
Yes, we're not
thing.
big fans.
Anyway, I still like Patrick Stewart, but I don't know why he got involved in that. I hope I'm not offending anybody who might have who might love
Who
that
might
show.
also love Picard, no matter what.
Has anybody seen that TV series? What's it called? It's got Bryan Cranston, who was in Breaking Bad, and it's called Your Honor, I think, something like that, where he plays a judge, and it's a bit complicated.
It's a new one, but we haven't been as interested, in part because we'd have to sign up for yet another streaming service, and we mostly don't watch the streaming services.
Yeah. Every time we sort of cancel it, then they put something else that might be interesting. The last time we had a look at something that we thought might be interesting, which was what was the name of that show? It had Billy Piper in it, who we really like.
From Diary of a Secret Call Girl.
Secret Diary of a Call Girl, yeah. Billy Piper. We thought that might be interesting, but we started watching it, and not the Secret Diary of a Call Girl,
That
which
was
is
very
actually
good.
quite good, except for the last season. But that we thought anyway, but the this one, not so much. It was something Susan. I don't know. I hating Susan. I don't know, something. I mean, I guess I should have gathered by the name of the show that it was probably not going to be not going to be good. But I like Billy Piper a lot.
Yeah.
And this Bryan Cranston thing, just because he's such a great actor. It's hard to believe that he used to play Malcolm in the Middle. He was in that show, and I never watched that show, but like I'd see the little shorts of it. We don't have, I've seen the little shorts of it, and, excuse me, he was such a goofball in that, and then you see him in Breaking Bad, and wowza. And then this is probably going to be good too, if they've got good... yeah, exactly. Jared Brown said Billy Piper will always be Rose. Yeah. She was so good in that.
Yes.
Yeah. But the only reason, I wasn't very fond of Barkley is I'm not exactly sure he's a very good actor. I felt like he sort of really overacted that part. Like, I like that they had, that he was very vulnerable and he had some neurosis and all of that, but it was sort of like, seemed to be so over the top. It was, just really, really overdone, but, that's just me. I don't know.
This is a strange little planet. Yes, Billy Piper was wonderful in that.
Yeah. And I think she must have done a bit of research into that.
I think she did a fair bit of research.
Yeah. Because it wasn't the stupid sort of representations of sex workers and stuff that you see often, Was it, Dee Dee? It was sort of...
Well, I think the woman who wrote that, was a sex worker, and so,
Yeah.
the one who wrote the book.
Yeah. Oh, sure, yes, she was, but
But
how
I think
the interpretations...
She actually worked with Billy Piper on it.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, okay.
So
well, yeah, so there was they had control
so she
over
would
it.
have given direct information.
Oh,
and that kind of
okay.
stuff.
Yeah, it was excuse me, Holly said Barkley was an over-the-top actor meant to be. Oh, yeah. I don't know, would they have somebody that is that neurotic on a starship? I don't know.
Yes.
It might be. I don't know. I don't know if they would have hired somebody, or did they hire? I don't know. Do they hire them on starships? I mean, nobody gets any wages, do they?
What's
Did
that?
he? Nobody gets any wages on a starship. Don't they just work there because they want to work there?
I don't know. I mean, they're
work?
able to go off to Rise of the Pleasure Planet. Do they get money to spend? A bit of spending money? Do they get an allowance? Oh, you're going on a holiday. Here's some money because these people still do that.
Oh, yeah. Did they do that on Riser?
Or is everything free everywhere?
Did he? Did they do that on the Pleasure Planet? Where that... people were exchanging money on that Pleasure Planet with that...
I think so.
Was that what it was called, the Pleasure Planet? I don't know.
Yeah, Rise was the Pleasure Planet.
Holly said, well, space can make you a little crazy. I think he was already a little whacked before he got on. I mean, before he got on board, didn't he? He didn't get
Who?
caught. He was, he visited Voyager.
Well,
Um,
he was on Enterprise on Next Generation,
Life can
but
make
he
you a
was
little cracked.
neurotic in that. He had all kinds of problems and stuff. Oh no, don't I have
Only Latinum. Wow, you really know a lot, Holly. I don't know much
only
about that.
Latinum.
What is Latinum? Is that the name?
Platinum is what the Ferengi were always using.
Oh,
to
I
trade.
see. Is that what people were?
Gold-plated Latinum.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I don't
Yeah.
know why it was gold-plated.
So did people just kind of put their hand up and say, "I'd like to fly on Voyager"? Excuse me.
Oh well, it was military. It's quasi-military.
And then-
Of the military in this in the.
and then
in
they just
space.
picked the people who they thought were the best.
Well, I guess it's supposed to be a meritocracy of some sort. I think. Yeah. Why have I
Gold
got-
plus Latinum
Oh,
Ferengi
that's
tea.
what it is.
Well, we don't know as we're not Star Trek aficionados. Really, we love it, but we don't know. I don't know that much about the ins and outs of it.
I know all about it.
Do you?
Well, I tend to remember it more than you do.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I pay more attention to it when it's on.
We keep every so often. We haven't played it for a while, but over the years, every so often we'll watch the whole Voyager thing on DVD again, and for a few years, I'd be I'm always kind of working on things while I'm watching shows
Yes,
like that.
She'll be editing or doing things on the
Editing or doing
computer
something
and
like
stuff
that,
like
or reading some political stuff or whatever, and it'll take sometimes the fourth or fifth watching for me to
Before
catch
she-
on to what's actually happening, because I'm
Yeah.
not paying enough attention
Yeah.
to the
she
thing.
misses the story a lot
I miss
of times.
I miss the
I tend
stories
to
and
watch
stuff.
the story.
But I eventually get the like, it took me a while to work out what the hell happened with the caretaker and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I missed all the kind of
Yeah.
beginning of that, and
I don't know
then
how you
finally
could
I
miss
worked it out.
on that.
Oh no, is Furious Psyops there and I can't see him? See, this is the problem.
Where?
Can you see
I don't
Furious
see him.
Psyops there?
No.
Oh no.
Oh.
What?
Oh,
Can you
oh,
see?
no, that's because I'm looking at it through your
Oh no.
thing. So I
Oh
can't see it.
no. Holly, do you think you could maybe copy and paste what Furious Psyop says to us? Because there's some sort of weird glitch in YouTube, and we haven't been able to work it out what it is. I've looked through the block senders list.
I've looked through all the blocks.
There's,
he's not blocked.
There's
He's looked through them on his side.
and I can communicate with him through Twitter, and I'm sorry about that, Holly. I hope you don't mind. And I've communicated with him through Twitter and on Robbie Martin's live streams and stuff. Oh, I can't see him on there. Sorry, Robbie Martin's live streams, but I can talk to Furious Psyop on Twitter.
And
But
what was a...
It's very frustrating because, like now, he's in the live stream and I can't see what he's saying. So I'm so glad you...
What was a takeoff of Black Gold Texas tea, Sarah? I remember...
Oh, can't copy. Okay. Oh, damn. Maybe Furious sometime, if you come again to the live stream, do you think you could, like, maybe if you have another username, you could come in
Hey, Trish.
under another username?
You know what you should do? Is
What's that?
sign out of
Oh, and sign
your
in as
thing
you.
and sign in as somebody else.
Oh, I see.
And then you can see
Oh,
it.
that's true. Okay, I might do that.
Okay, it'll
so
probably
I'll just-
take Trish
oh,
a
hang on
minute
a sec.
or two to go out and come back.
Yeah, I might go out and come back as another
I
user. So hold
I
on.
have to do it on her.
Okay, just wait a minute.
I've logged in as her, but she's logged in as
Yeah.
her as well.
Okay, I'm just gonna sign out. And
Oh,
what? What?
you won't, because your mic is. I guess that's all right. Your mic is still hooked into here, so you'll be able to talk no
Will
matter
I?
what's going on.
Will I?
Yes,
Are you
because
sure?
because
Oh, okay
your
then.
mic is going out
Okay.
out on this live stream.
Okay. So
So-
I will.
Okay. Now I can pick up things.
Okay.
Oh, let's see.
Okay. So, Dee Dee?
Yeah.
Oh. Can people still hear me?
Yes, people can still hear you. They should be able to still hear you.
Oh, great. If somebody could just...
And what was the takeoff on Black Gold Texas tea?
What? Now, hang on. I just want to see if... oh, okay. So they can still hear me. That's great. Oh, that's good. Maybe I'll do that in future if that happens again. Just let her know I want to try to reply and find out if she can see. Yeah. Anyway, it's lovely to see you. Furious.
Oh, Ferengi
good.
tea,
So
Gold Plus Platinum.
I'll stay and watch, but I mainly wanted to test the changes I made. Oh, that's all right. Don't feel, it's not. I'm not going to be saying anything particularly exciting, but
We just-
just nice that you dropped in, and I couldn't see you unfortunately, so I don't know what's going on. I wish I could get a hold of the YouTube people and ask them what they can suggest. Maybe I'll try and contact them and somehow and see if I can work out this problem, because there's somebody else who also is not able to is not able to leave comments in the live stream or elsewhere, and I've looked through all the block list. I looked at, and their name isn't there. Yuri Mudraker, and I can't find. They can't, and it's really sad. The only place I can talk to them is Twitter. So I don't know. I don't know what
It's
the
really
issue
weird
is.
that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Where's my spaceship? There
So
it
I'll
is.
have to.
Okay.
Maybe if I can work out what's wrong with that, I might be able to work out what's, in general, what the problem is.
Okay.
How has your day been, Furious? And how's your day been, Jera?
Oh. We've had a quiet day.
Oh, Furious said, I think I will end up deleting my YouTube channel since I never uploaded any videos and start anew. Oh, that'd be great.
Who said that?
Furious said that.
Oh,
That'd
yeah.
be great. So, that would be really great. And then I can see you in the live stream. It's just so awful, sort of not like you being there and me not being able to say anything to you.
Will you lose things?
Huh?
Will you lose things if you delete
No,
it?
he doesn't have any.
Any
Doesn't have
videos?
anything on his channel or anything,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so actually maybe I might suggest to Yuri to when he comments on my channel to come in as another user. That might be one solution to that. Hey.
Yeah. But you're still bad because you can't hear him on Robbie's channels and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's true. Yeah, I mean, no, he might. Maybe he might like delete the current user thing he has, but still call himself Furious Psyops.
Yeah.
And then go in, to Robbie's thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, that'd be really great. I don't know. I'd like to know what the problem is, though, really.
Yeah.
Because that's really frustrating. And what's frustrating is it's almost impossible to contact, these people, the YouTube people.
The buggers.
Yeah. I've got to be honest and say I feel really crap. I'm just being honest. I feel really broken at the moment, and so I'm sorry if I seem a bit flat. But I just thought it might be a nice idea. I don't know, to just hang out for a while.
When you said that, Shara, that thing about the Beverly Hillbillies theme song, I remembered that thing from Roseanne, where Dan did a rap version of that, which worked really well.
Oh, yeah?
Do you remember that, Trish?
About the what?
Where Dan did a rap version of that Beverly Hillbillies
Black
Gold Texas Tea.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was funny. It was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a sad thing, the way that went.
Oh, yeah. That's very sad, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved Roseanne at the show. But she's sort of got her mental health has exacerbated some problems with her, and it's just so sad how she kind of destroyed that franchise in a way.
Yeah.
Latinum is apparently a liquid at room temperature, so they encase it with gold pressed latinum. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Well, now we know something
Sorry.
about latinum. I didn't know it was liquid. I was always wondering why they were plating it with gold.
Plating what with gold, Edie?
The latinum.
Yeah, I didn't know that. God, you'd think that they could find something else besides gold, wouldn't you?
Yes.
I mean, seriously. I mean, how many metals would there be out in space that you could use that isn't gold? I mean, wouldn't gold by that stage have run out anyway, unless they worked out how to make it? And if they worked out how to make it, it wouldn't be that expensive anymore?
Yeah. I think gold is actually probably not uncommon in space.
Really? Do you think it's not uncommon in space? Isn't there an asteroid out? Isn't there an asteroid they discovered that's worth something like $640 trillion or something? Because it's got seriously, I'm not kidding. It is a crazy amount of money. This asteroid, because it's got so many different special minerals on it, and they valued it at sort of like 640 trillion or something like that dollars.
Yes. All you have to do is go out and get it.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find the name of that.
Just going to track down the
asteroid.
Asteroid. Maybe I can go out and in this and get it.
Expensive. let's see. Asteroid 16 Psyche, it's called. It's 700 quintillion, 700 quintillion dollars.
Oh, God.
The most valuable thing in the solar system.
Oh, they don't know.
No, they don't know. How would
That's
they
the
know?
most valuable thing they know
Asteroid-
of.
Yeah. What is it? Why is it? Oh, hang on a sec. That's because it is mostly metal, leading some to wonder how much gold can be found in them. They are space hills, it says. So anyway, 700 quintillion. That's nuts.
I don't know. Sounds like a lot.
That sounds like a lot, doesn't it?
Yes.
That's like way more than. I don't know. I don't even know what a quintillion is. Is that
No,
like how many zeros is that?
I have no
Oh,
idea.
it's like 7 followed by 20 zeros.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm
20
sure. I'm
zeros.
sure. How far away is it? Hopefully, it's so far away that Jeff Bezos can't reach it. That'd be great. Um,
Yes, 'cause the last thing you want is Jeff Bezos to get it.
yeah. They don't sort of mention exactly.
Space Force. I thought that was disgusting
Oh,
the way he managed to grab the Star Trek thing.
And yes, and did you see
I thought
that?
they should have sued him for that.
Did you see that he wants to call them? This is almost like comedy, literal comedy writing itself. They want to call the people that work in the Space Force guardians. Isn't that awful? So they've ripped
They want
off
to be guardian of the
Guardians of the
galaxy
Galaxy. Just excuse
in a
me
Star
for a moment.
Trek
Yeah,
thing.
isn't that just awful?
Yeah.
Excuse me, little one.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, guardians, yeah. While they blow the bejesus out of people from space.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
That's what they're going to be doing.
Yes.
They'll just launch nuclear attacks from space,
Yeah.
and people won't have time to respond. and then people from other planets will be going, oh look, not only have they enslaved the animals on the planet, now they're bombing themselves from outer space.
Yes. That's the one.
I'm sorry, did you hear that? I was
Yes.
just saying how
Yes.
people,
How the aliens
how
would look
any
at us.
aliens, if I should find another word than aliens, people from not from this planet, individuals from not from this planet, if they could see us from the
Individuals not
space,
from this
if they could see us bombing ourselves from space on top of it, enslaving all the non-human animals or using them as something, entertainment or something, and then they see us bombing ourselves from space.
Yeah.
They think, wow, what a wackadoo that species has to go.
Yes, we're a special species. Let's see if there's some platinum.
Oh, hi, Tom. I'm Tom, I was in two minds. We were in two minds about doing this tonight, but we just thought it'd be nice to hang out with some people, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I could do with a laugh. And oh, is Carly there? Hi, Carly. Carly, that's Nothy Seaton. Carly works has an archaeological background, and she does archaeology sites in the UK, which would be really, really fascinating.
Yeah.
And I bet you there's so much Roman stuff still left in the earth. Hey, Dee Dee.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm using the username The Naked Empire Nothi because Carly, because Furious Psyops, who's in the chat, I always have trouble seeing his posts for some reason. There's this glitch in YouTube and I can never ever see what he's saying.
You can't see it from here.
So I thought I would change my username and oh, that'd be great if you could send some pictures. That'd be really great. So anyway, I'm using that username, The Naked Empire, which is actually the channel the channel I used to have when I thought I was going to be able to do live stream interviews with people, and I managed to do some and did live streams via Real Progressives on Facebook, and then our situation changed with the connectivity, and
Yes.
I had to stop doing them.
Happily, they just buggered up. They just kept putting more and more people on the tower.
Yeah, but
we
I'm
live very rurally,
yeah.
and they just put more and more people on the tower until the speed slowed down to a crawl.
Yeah, but I managed to interview Max Blumenthal, which was really great because I mean, that man has such a mind. He sort of reminds me of Chomsky in the way he can remember details. If you've ever read the book The Management of Savagery, it's so detailed, and he's got such an encyclopedic mind for things.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like, I'd have to read that book probably 2 or 3 times to be able to take in all the different sort of facets of how things progressed in Western Asia, sort of thing, after the Mujahideen and all that kind of thing. So anyway, yeah, he's really interesting. Who else did I get to interview when I did The Naked Empire? Eunice Wong, that's Chris Hedges' partner, and she's lovely. She's also vegan like Chris Hedges. And who else was there?
Food.
There's Dan Cohen. He was with Max Blumenthal when they did that documentary, Killing Gaza. That's an excellent documentary they did, and so I got to talk to them about that just after they made it. And then who else was there? Oh, Margaret Kimberley. I got to talk to Margaret Kimberley from
Yes,
the Black
that was
Agenda
a good
Report.
interview.
That
She did
she's
some
really
wonderful
great.
interviews.
She's so great. So I'm a big fan of hers. And I never got to interview Manar Muhuesh, but the connectivity stuff just really collapsed. But maybe I'm hoping one day I might be able to start doing those things again, because maybe things might be improving a little bit with the, I don't know, we'll have to see. And it probably won't be live, but it'll be pre-recorded, but that's okay. And let's see, who else was there? Oh, I interviewed the guy from the CIA. What's his name? Crap. I interviewed look, I'm not, my mind's not working very well at the moment. I think I'm quite depressed. Let me see. Didi, who's the name of the guy who was put in prison? Barrett Brown. I interviewed Barrett Brown. That was interesting.
You interviewed Georgiopoulos, is it?
No.
That's not quite right.
George
Mine.
Deodatus, who does lots of incredible work in indigenous people and
particularly indigenous people in prison and that kind of
suicides. There's a lot of suicides of young indigenous people, sadly, in Australia, and he works a lot with that.
In Australia, for those who don't realize, indigenous people were classified as flora and fauna.
Yes.
Until
68.
68.
Oh, just
They
incredible.
weren't even classified
Yes,
as
when I was
human
8 years
beings.
old, they were still, indigenous people were still classified as flora
As
and
fauna.
And when
Not
we
as
used
flora.
to... Oh,
They
fauna,
weren't
sorry,
flowers.
fauna.
They were
Yeah, that's
fauna.
true. Fauna,
But they were-
sorry. Fauna. And they used to present indigenous people in the 60s in our history books. I'm not sure what it's like now, but I mean, when I was growing up in the 60s, they, it was almost like they had already been, they didn't
They were
exist
already
anymore.
extinct.
Yes,
Yeah.
they didn't exist anymore. That they'd been wiped out. Well, Australia tried to wipe them out, but it didn't work out.
Tasmania did an extinction.
Where not extinction, darling. That's not the word.
Well, genocide.
Yeah. The Tasmania did a terrible. We basically genocided the entire indigenous population here, didn't we, Didi?
Yeah.
So anyway,
except for the people who were basically multiracial, who had some Aboriginal blood but were living with white parents.
Oh, Tom said it. Hi, Holly, Trish, Didi, and all just passing through between oatmeal and work.
Work. Yes.
Thanks, Tom. Lovely to see you.
Yes.
Oh, my wrist is a bit sore today. Who else did I interview there, Didi?
Who else did you interview? You interviewed Ben Norton, did you say?
Oh, Ben Norton. God, yeah, Ben Norton from the Grey Zone.
That was very excellent.
I interviewed him for like 2 hours, and we didn't intend to do 2 hours, but he's just so knowledgeable, and he talked for like 2 hours, and it was just so interesting.
Yeah, I mean, people like Margaret Kimberley. It was great.
Yeah,
and I almost her because she was able to just talk.
Yes.
And Ben Norton too. I mean,
yes.
It was so many interviews are so constrained, and people who are doing the interviewing want to kind of make a name for themselves, and so they have to show off how much they know, and want to direct things to what they think is going to interest their audience, rather than letting these people who are fabulously knowledgeable talk about the things that they see are important. And Trish is actually an excellent interviewer.
Now she's blowing
I'm not. It's really true.
Singing my praises.
And a lot of the people that you interviewed appreciated that.
Oh, thank you, Didi.
I think anybody who wants to see if I'm just full of nonsense, then they can go and look at the interviews.
Oh,
they're still up there, aren't they?
Yeah, sure. That's very nice, Didi. Anyway,
not on this channel.
No, they're there. I've got a playlist called The Naked Empire.
Great little graphic for that too.
Yeah. I managed to put together that graphic, which I actually really like. It's just a culmination of a few different things thrown into one, and then with a background. Anyway, I can't think of all that. Anyway, they were all interesting people on there.
Yeah.
And I was going to I almost interviewed Ajama Baraka, and we were setting up the interview, and then I couldn't hear him. He couldn't hear me, then I couldn't hear him, and we had to abandon it before we even started. So
that was
we never got to that, really, sadly. One day, maybe I might be able to do that again, but we'll see. And Yuri, if you're watching and you can't comment, if you have another username, feel free to, come in under that username, and then I'll be able to see what you're saying and stuff. And
indeed, Holly says flora and fauna. Who are the barbarians? Yes, Australia. Yeah.
Really.
The white Australians.
Yeah, I mean, that's not that long ago. That's like when I was a child. That's still how it was.
Yeah.
It's just appalling. I was absolutely appalled. Like, I didn't realize that until much later. And looking back, you're like, that, you know what I mean? I don't know, did Kevin Rudd ever apologize for that alone?
I don't think so. they apologized for what they called the stolen generation, where they decided to eliminate Aboriginal people, the indigenous people here, by assimilation, by just taking them away from their parents and denying them their language and doing all of that sort of stuff. Jera said she may have to go soon.
Oh, okay.
But I'm a subscriber.
Oh, okay,
and also
Jera.
a real progressive subscriber and a fan of Steve Grumbine, Chris Hedges, and I love Margaret Kimberly. Nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you too. Jera, did she go?
If you're on
okay.
If you're on
Excuse me.
Facebook, there's a page called Days of Destruction.
That's funny.
Days
That's
of Revolt.
That's my Facebook page.
Yeah.
That's the Facebook page I started up, Jera.
Yeah.
I have
pretty
two
good.
Facebook pages that I post mostly on. And one is the one I started, which is Days of Destruction, Days of Revolt. And the other one is The Naked Empire. Oh, sorry, that's right, The Naked Empire, which I was going to use for interviews that I was doing, but it turned out I had to stop doing those. So anyway, I just post on there too. So they're both my pages. So isn't that funny? So that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Did she mention that? Where
No,
is
she
that?
didn't mention that.
Oh, she didn't.
I
Did you?
mentioned that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought she mentioned that. I was
No.
going to say, oh, okay then. Yeah. Anyway, that's one of the pages there. So I post stuff on there.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. We don't.
yeah.
I don't look at Facebook at all anymore.
It is that book, Jera, and I thought I would use the title to because it's kind of appropriate in some ways about the state of the world. So I thought I'd use it as a bit of a, so people who knew who Chris Hedges was would probably come and join, and also that it's just a kind of a description really of what's going on these days. Anyway, so that group has been there for how many years now? About 3 years. It was a bit of a tinfoil hat there was a Chris Hedges page on on Facebook that I joined originally, and it was just such a tinfoil hatter setup, wasn't it, Dee Dee?
Yeah.
It was bad. People were
Yeah.
there was lizard people stuff going on there, all sorts of things. And so I just sort of
got rid of all that.
and then the people that started it handed it over to me, and I tried to change it to something a little bit more normal, and it didn't work out. So I decided to just kind of close the group and then start a new one. So
Yeah. Uh-oh. I have.
So if I go on Facebook, I won't have trouble remembering your page. Yeah. Hang on, let me see if I can just throw the link in there. I have another page too, which is it's Stop the Next War Against Russia and China.
Oh, yes.
And I started that just so that I could post things of the warmongering against China and Russia.
Okay, there was a
And
message held for review. Oh, that's yours.
oh, really?
Yes, well, you can't.
Oh,
You
I
can't.
see.
I'll have to.
Can you?
Yeah,
Oh no. Oh, okay.
okay. Error, try again. Why? It won't let me.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so
I might be able to put it in.
yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Oh, good, good.
No, I have
So
to
anyway, that's the Days of Destruction, Days of Revolt
get back. Hopefully I
group.
don't crash.
Huh?
Oh,
Oh,
there I
it looks
am.
like you've frozen a bit there. Oh no. So if anybody's in the if anybody's lurking and you want to come and say hi, please feel free to
Feel free.
do so. And hey Alia. Hey. Hello. Alia's jumped up on the stool and she sees Nandi in my lap and it's like, what the hell is he doing there? there's a lineup for the lap, Dee Dee.
Yes. Yes.
Oh Alia, I'm sorry. There's not enough room for everybody at the moment. She said, well, F you then. I have to laugh how Facebook, like when they did the big purge of about 800 pages, a lot of them leftist pages, this was about 2 years ago now, or 18 months. And they tried to get rid of my pages, but fortunately they didn't delete them because probably I didn't have enough people on them for them to be concerned about it.
Subscribers.
But they deleted a bunch, including I think it was anti-war. So they're very, all the anti-imperialist things. And then so they disabled all the pages my anti-imperialist pages, like Stop the Next War Against Russia and China and the Naked Empire. And then you hear later about sort of 8 months later or a year later, then they're saying, hey, you haven't posted. Whoops, you haven't posted in
anything
a while.
for a while. Yeah. No, you
please.
buggers. Why would I?
No. I do post. I continue to post, but like if you haven't posted for say 2 weeks or 3 weeks, they'll give you this little reminder. And I just think, see, that's the ridiculousness of Facebook. They're suppressing anti-imperialist, anti-war stuff, but then the next thing they're going, oh, come on, why don't you post? Keep posting. We haven't heard from you in a while. Stupid tossers.
Alia comes up on my desk when she wants food, basically, or sometimes something else, and rubs her head against my face and bumps she doesn't want me using any kind of controls on the computer or anything like that.
Yeah.
She's very, very dominant.
Yeah.
She's very pushy.
Yeah.
She's a pushy little girl. She's very sweet.
When she's outside, she's as happy as a lark. She likes hanging out outside, and of course we always bring them in at about 5 p.m. in the afternoon, and we don't let them out until
hours before sunset.
Yeah, and then we don't let them out until it's sort of several hours after sunset, and we kind of keep an eye on them. And we bring them inside when we go out for shopping and things like that. So we're very good with supervising, and they have special little bird be safe collars on and stuff.
People will notice what we call clown collars.
Clown collars, yeah. We don't like to dress up our cats. They just work very well. So anyway, but Alia she just muffles about in front of the house. And now she's on my lap. Nandi made the mistake of getting up to eat, and now she said, here's my chance. And, oh yes, I know Richard Medhurst, Holly, yep. Yeah, I've seen his work, yep. What was I saying? Yeah, anyway, so she loves rolling in the dust, and she just keeps rolling and rolling and... excuse me. She's a real dust little dust devil.
A dust devil. Yes.
And then she'll get on the hood of the car and be rolling around and head bumping us, and she's just so happy to see us. Oh, Dee Dee, you're far from the mic.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay, that's better.
is that better?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Alia, when she was here, she pushed my mic
Oh, okay, yeah.
down.
S- I'm surprised that more people haven't signed the force the vote thing. I mean, it's been a couple of days since I looked at the numbers, and it was about 22,000, I think, a couple of days ago. But I would hope that there would be way more people signing that.
Yeah. And calling the politicians and things.
I should, yes, calling them, exactly. They need to be, these
They need to be
politicians,
afraid
they
of
need to
people.
be afraid. And I'm not for violence or anything, but they need to be afraid, feel afraid of people,
Yeah.
the public. They are so, they think they're some sort of celebrity group, and that they're doing us some sort of favor by doing what the the very basics. And people have got to start making these tossers feel afraid.
Yes, or they'll never respond. They won't care.
Oh, did that come through? Can you please,
What's that?
the force the vote thing that I just posted?
No. Hang on. Hopefully people know it. It won't let
Can
me
you
do that.
just copy and paste it?
It won't let me approve it.
Yeah, can you just copy
Yeah,
and
I'm
paste
doing
it?
that.
Yeah. I don't even know if they're actually out of touch, Holly. I mean, I think we make too many excuses for them. I mean, they know why they're there. If they've forgotten why they're there, then they shouldn't be there. And I mean, but I think that the whole celebrity thing in the United States towards politicians is working it's working against actual any of these meager changes that, it's just sort of the left is, I'm talking about the real, and anybody who calls themselves the left, and there's a lot of people that aren't left, but they shouldn't, nobody should be adoring these people like AOC and all of that,
No.
because eventually they're going to be used as or they are being used as bait to make that awful party look progressive, and they're letting themselves be used to do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, they in some ways can become more of an enemy of any of moving the status quo than people like Pelosi, because everybody who mistakenly, a lot of people mistakenly put trust in those people, and they are going to probably end up like Bernie Sanders, where they lead people up the garden path and then abandon them right at the gate and do it again and again, and people keep voting for these people. I don't know why. I don't know who are the people who keep bringing in that awful Nancy Pelosi or any of these people. It's just sort of like, I think, who are the people that are voting these people in? They obviously aren't poor,
Yes.
So anyway, but I see people like AOC and that as more of an enemy of change than the actual people like Pelosi, because they're
Because they lead you to think
well,
that
they're holding
it's-
the movement in the confines of that awful party, aren't they? And
Yeah.
putting and getting people to put trust in them
yeah,
when they're going to abandon them over and over again.
yes,
They're soft imperialists at best. I can see her, and people. There are some people who call themselves left who don't care that these people are soft imperialists.
no,
That is very
yeah.
disturbing.
There's people on the left, so-called left, who think that if they're doing some social justice things to improve the lot of people in the United States, then that's all that needs to be done.
Yeah.
They don't really care about other countries.
Yeah.
They don't care about, the fact that the United States is imperialist and
Yeah. Jero said, I do call and spam emails. Right now I'm focused on pushing them toward shaming their colleagues for $2,000 checks. That's more time sensitive than force the vote at the moment. Yeah, that's true. Although I don't know. See, I don't. The thing is, which colleagues are you meaning? The colleagues, the squad colleagues, or beyond that? Like, because anybody beyond the squad, I'm not sure how those people in the squad, if they, I don't know where they are. I mean, where are they on the force the vote thing? They're just ignoring it.
yeah. I think
They're all going to vote for Pelosi.
the force the vote thing is really, I mean, it probably won't succeed,
No.
but it actually indicates that the people really care about some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a people power thing.
Yeah.
And
it hopefully puts people in Parliament and Congress on notice
yeah.
that they can't just keep ignoring people.
Yeah. Yes. But the
But yeah, I mean the
can I say something about Amy Klobuchar?
sure, you can say whatever you like.
No, I don't.
It's your
just,
channel.
You were just about to say something.
No, that's okay.
I was just watching on the Jimmy Dore show a clip of Amy Klobuchar being interviewed by someone, and she's sort of going about Trump wanting. And now, I know that Trump is only asking for an increase in the amount of money to people, because probably the GOP is going to use him again in 2024. He's going to run again in 2024, so he wants to go out looking like he's a people president kind of thing. But it doesn't matter. Whatever his motivation is, which I think it's that at least he's doing something for people. He's increasing the amount of money, which is so desperately needed. And Amy Klobuchar was on this, corporate media sort of complaining about it. Absolutely ridiculous things she was saying. Absolutely ridiculous things she was saying. Honestly, I just want to reach through the screen and slap her. It's just awful. Just awful.
Yeah.
Here is people desperate. I mean, this is going to cause this is going to cause such a social breakdown. I don't know if anybody has read Chris Hedges' recent his recent blog. His recent article on is it Common Dreams or davidshear.com. Anyway, it's called The Collective Suicide of the Liberals, and it basically at the end of it says that the people like I don't know, it could even be both left and right, but maybe just the right, is going to come after these people in the Democratic Party in a violent way, is going to come after people on the left in a violent way, and is going to start shooting people, you know, like, because AR-15s? They're not meant for shooting animals, they're meant for killing people. And, he said even his relatives in, I think it's Maine, have like an arsenal. This is his relatives. And he said people have a lot of guns, and when things get just really break down significantly, which they're going to do under Biden, and then under a fascist again after that, some fascist that's more competent than Trump. And he said, there are people that are going to be shooting people, and they're going to come after people in the corporate media, and they're going to come after the Democratic Party. And these people are so stupid in the Democratic Party that they think that they're sort of in some kind of they're protected from all of this. Yeah, I mean, the hubris of them, really, isn't it, Dee Dee?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that's...
And I don't know, in some ways it's kind of sad because they're probably not the people who need to be targeted.
Well, nobody should
people,
be, Dee Dee.
I know nobody should be targeted. We're non-violent and all that, but
yeah.
If you were going to target somebody, I think you'd want to be targeting the people with money. And
yeah, don't worry, I don't watch mainstream media, but I see it. That's why when I watch these shows, like Jimmy Dore and stuff, they're the ones that watch it. I can't bring myself to do that, so someone else is doing it, so I don't have to. And seeing her talking, just awful, just to think these people are the ones that are making decisions for the public is just, God, talk about the major disconnect. Anyway, I think these people in the Democratic Party think they're sort of invincible or something. To think that at some point
they're beyond any kind of responsibility.
Yeah, but they're beyond retribution. They think that they're beyond retribution, darling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At some point when people don't care, and they've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
They're going to start storming places.
Where there's nothing to lose, then...
Yes, they're going to start storming places.
Yeah.
Because when you have nothing to lose, who cares if somebody shoots you? Really? You know what I mean?
Well, that's when you have revolutions.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
You have violent revolutions.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're going to push people to the point where they have nothing to lose, and that's when you get to the point where you don't care if people shoot you, because you have nothing to lose. So people are going to start storming places in masses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
En masse. That's what's going to happen if they keep going this way. That's why it's so incredible to watch that they don't seem to realize they're creating their own downfall literally in a physical sense.
Yeah.
It's not just the destruction of their party, that it's going to be their physical, individual...
Yes, people will get so angry that
they will start killing people. And that's, I think, what the Chris Hedges article was basically about. That was part of it anyway. How come I seem to be stuck on this, I'm sort of stuck on this thing. You're obviously...
What's going on?
I don't seem to...
Are people seeing movement? Are people seeing me wandering around on this planet? Or is that...
Because I've just got this
If you're stuck there, that's not right.
No.
It shouldn't be that way. Let me just check something.
Or have I just been talking to myself for the last 5 minutes?
Well, I hope not.
Oh, there's no movement.
Oh, there's no movement. Oh, God, why?
Frozen. Not seeing movement on the screen at all. Oh.
Okay.
Hi, Omar.
Let me
I
try
saw your
this
nice
again.
comments in the chat in Robbie's live stream today. Thank you so much for being so kind. Such kind people on the planet. Hey, Omar. We decided to come on and do something. I'm probably not up to it, but I'm trying to have a laugh. I'm really not in a good way.
Okay.
Dee Dee's trying to fix the
I'm
screen.
trying to fix the screen here. Why? Why isn't it doing it? Oh, I might have to go back here.
Laughter is the best medicine, as they say, yeah.
Oh, no.
And it's strange, when these live streams are finished, we've got it ticked so that...
It worked this time. I don't
did
know
it?
why, but it seemed to work this time.
Oh, okay.
No, this is not working.
Oh, no.
Why?
Black screen. Oh, that's too bad. So anyway, what was I saying?
That's not working either. So...
Holly said, "You're our future, December 24th." Yeah.
Okay. For some reason it's not seeing it. I might close the game and start it again.
You mean start the live stream again?
No, not start the live stream again. That would break things down.
Oh, okay. Close
Close
the game.
this game.
Okay.
And start it again.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, excuse me. What time is it in New York City right now? Where, if you don't mind me asking, what state are you in? Time in NYC. Oh, it's 9:14 a.m. in New York City. Okay.
I'm sorry that you're missing this. It's actually a fun little planet. It's very pretty.
Huh?
The planet is actually very pretty.
Oh, yeah.
For a change. It's got blue sky as well. Now, I've got a restore point.
We could really fund some leftist journalism if we had that 740 quintillion asteroid.
What? Oh, yeah.
We could really fund some leftist journalism if we had that.
Yes, we could. Yes, we could. Okay. Now.
Oh, Omar's in Toronto, Canada. Oh, lucky you, Omar. You're not subject to the insanity in the US right now. That's really good. I visited Toronto in when was it? Oh, in the late 90s, and I remember because it was summer over here, not in Tasmania. I was living in Queensland at the time, but it was summer in Queensland, which is really hot. And then I went over and I was in Toronto, and I just remember getting out of this car. It was like getting into a freezer. It was amazing.
Okay. Now people should be seeing startup screens.
Oh, you have family in the US. Oh. How are they going?
Why? Why did it stop?
Oh, that's good. Our let me see. Are you I don't know really, like, because people use different usernames that don't necessarily indicate stuff about them, but I mean, are you, I'm just guessing, but are you finding people are um like, are you getting much racism, Omar, from people in the US, or is it not too bad?
Okay.
I'm just going by your name, and it sounds sort of Western Asia sort of name, Asian kind of Western Asian.
All right. Now you should be seeing stars
so itchy.
flashing by. Yes, you're seeing stuff now.
Oh, good.
Good. Okay. I'm sorry that didn't work. I don't know what happened.
Do you have any you don't mind me asking you these questions, do you, Omar? You don't have to answer. I'm just interested, and it's good to know people. But it's not crazy over the top racism that we have. That's good.
Anyway, we're on a very pretty planet here.
I was just wondering if you had any Muslim relatives and whether they're getting a hard time. And I was just wondering whether Donald Trump is going to start a war with Iran in the new year. Have you noticed that I was just saying to Didi, except for one New Year, every New Year, just after New Year's Eve, he starts rattling sabers at some country. Like he did it, I think the first thing he did, 2018, was start rattling sabers at DPRK. Oh, it's awful. He does that. It's almost like every New Year he does that, and I feel like he's going to try and start a war before he leaves with Iran. And those stupid effing bombs that they're blaming Iran for. They have English writing on them. English writing. I mean, you know, I thought people were sensible enough to sort of see through some of this nonsense. But it's like they're writing scripts. The military, the national security state are writing these fucking scripts for war that are so pitiful, and that you could drive a truck through the holes in the stories and stuff. You know, Didi?
Yeah.
Just shockingly
just
badly.
Make up
shockingly badly put together.
Yeah.
And like this, like honestly and truly, here's a few bombs. Here's a few little bombs. It's got English writing on it. It's Iran. Oh, Iran is also interfering with the fucking elections and all this sort of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my
Iran
God.
is interfering with the elections in Venezuela. Right.
Yeah.
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 Omar, yes, Biden is absolutely just as evil.
Yes. Absolutely.
And the worst thing about it is because he's a Democrat, people go, oh, but he's the good one. And they don't pay any attention to the fact that they're doing
Biden
that.
is totally as bad. It's
he's
just
he's an absolute
it's just
warmonger.
It's just that right now, I because Trump has Adelson as a donor, and Adelson has wanted a war on Iran for a long time. He's total Zionist, pro-Israel and stuff, and I think it's like a quid pro quo kind of thing. Adelson gave him huge amounts of money for his campaign, and he expects something back in return, and that's a war on Iran. And I feel like Trump is trying to appease that, sort of fix that up before he leaves, or at least set it up. And I don't think that I don't think Biden. I don't know how interested Biden is in a war with Iran. I think he's much more interested in Venezuela and Russia and China. But he could go that way. It just depends.
The U.S. has hated Iran ever since they got rid of the Shah.
Sure, but I don't know if Biden is as keen on a war on Iran as he is with Venezuela and Russia and China. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the
like
Russians,
I know he's a big Zionist, and I'm sure all of that, but I'm not sure. But
Russia and China are
why not?
long-term goal things.
Why not have a, you know what I mean? Why not? I mean, they're trying to wage war with everyone they possibly can. So, you know, total full spectrum dominance. So we've actually had a fairly, I don't know about other countries at the moment, but our weather has been it's been really quite good this year, hasn't it, Dee Dee?
Yeah.
This sort of, this summer, for where we live anyway. I don't know about the mainland, but normally our weather's pretty mild, isn't it, here in Tasmania?
Yes.
But in summer, around this time, it gets a little bit hot, and you'll have, like, say, 6 or 7 really hot days throughout probably about a 3-week period, you know, where it's sort of, you know, there'll be a few 33s, and maybe you might get one really crazy one that's like 38 or something. But you can only get about 6 or 7 really hot days, and then the rest is kind of fairly
Rarely
mild.
ever gets up to 38.
Oh, we got a 38 last year, I think. But
one of the nice
year,
things about being here, though, is that when it gets hot for a day or two, it tends to then get cloudy and rain.
yes, that's very good.
And that's great.
Yes, but this year, like the weather now, like for this week, is like right now it's 7.4 degrees Celsius, and like it's tomorrow. Oh, well, today it's going to be 19 degrees Celsius, and then 24 on Saturday, 25 on Sunday, 19 on Monday. I mean, 22, 23. I mean, they're all really sort of quite, they're the usual temperatures you might get the rest of the year, or lower than that, you know, between 15.
It's actually often cooler than that.
Yeah, it's between 0 and 18, you know, sort of, isn't it? Most of the rest of the year and stuff. But that's actually really kind of and so that's really great, because like all we would have needed was another fire. And hi, Nandi. Didi. All we would have needed was, on top of the COVID, to have crazy fires again.
Yeah.
Because that was really nuts. I mean, I don't think people would have coped at all if we'd had fires as well as a plague. All we'd need then is some floods, and then the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
And you've got the trifecta. Yes, fire, floods, and plagues.
Mm. So Omar said, yeah, Trump is up front. It's refreshing in a way. Trump openly talks about the military-industrial complex. And Holly said, did the stream rewind, or maybe I did it. Anyway, I expect right after New Year's he's going to start doing there's going to be some false flag. I don't necessarily mean it might be a full-on war, but there's going to be some kind of false flag thing just after New Year's in relation to Iran or something, you know, oh, they've done this, you know, it'll be this or that, something to do with them, and the next thing, you know, they'll be rattling sabers and sending warships into the Persian Gulf. And I think is there already some there already, Didi?
What?
Is there any warships in the Persian Gulf right now?
Oh, probably.
And then here in Australia, we like you'll have people being interviewed, like the corporate media, and they'll be saying, they'll be saying to some Australian official, the Australian official will be saying to them, I don't know why China is saying it's going to block this particular export and raise tariffs on this particular, and they're kind of carrying
Why are
on.
they doing that to us? It's completely inexplicable.
You see this over and over again, these officials, Australian officials going, why are they doing that? I don't know. I don't know what their motivations are. Like, they're carrying on. And here we are. We've been for the last year or so now rattling sabers at them and rubbishing them and expelling people and having war games in front of their water or near
joining
their waters.
the U.S. war games.
I mean, and disparaging them, like racist disparaging, people being beaten up for being Asian. I mean, honestly and truly, it's been a complete shit show how we've been behaving towards them. And then you get these Australian officials going, I don't know why they're doing that. Why are they blocking our wine, and why they're blocking our... It's just hilarious.
Our barley and
Our barley, like they make out like as if China is this irrational monolith, yellow peril that is just sort of doing stuff to be mean. It's unfucking believable to watch.
Yeah, I mean China's had a bit of a go because of the SAS, torturing people and
what?
The SAS doing all those war crimes. China's had a bit of a go about that.
Oh yes, they had.
And so the Prime Minister's gotten all offended and huffy. He's just, how could they do that? That's rude. Jesus, we've been slaughtering innocent civilians.
Yeah,
holding knives to the necks of children and killing their dogs in front of them. Like, what kind of monsters? And then we think China's rude for saying anything about it. For God's sake.
That's amazing. Like, I mean, seriously, we're such babies over here. Like, China posts a meme of, some Australian soldier holding a knife to the neck of a child, which of course actually happened, in which they in fact slashed the throats of 2 teenagers in Afghanistan, amongst other horrific things, which is not an aberration, is normal in Afghanistan, not only by Australian forces but by the US and the UK and stuff, but they want to pretend like it's some aberration that happened because everybody else wouldn't do that. Of course,
we're throwing the whistleblower in jail.
Yeah, they want to throw David McBride, the whistleblower, in jail.
Yes. Because how dare
for the rest of his life for helping reveal that, of course.
Yeah.
Like just how they want to kill Julian Assange too. So anyway, but honestly, you just have to laugh. The baby, they're just such babies here, and so China calls them out quite appropriately on the appalling crimes. And I mean, war is a crime, but the appalling war crimes that we're doing in Afghanistan, and then everybody, including Penny Wong, who's a Chinese parliamentarian in the Labour Party, is saying how offended, because
she's
we
an
have
Australian politician.
Well,
Chinese descent.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Chinese background. Australian politician. Yeah, she's saying how offended she is. Yeah. Like honestly. It was
God,
hilarious.
That's sort of shameful.
What's that? What?
That she would carry on like that is shameful.
Yes,
really.
Yes. So anyway, the Labour Party is so effing sad. It's here in Australia.
It's really weird,
the Federal Labour Party.
The names of the parties here are almost ironic. The Labour Party does nothing for working people. Yeah.
What's that?
The Labour Party does nothing.
Oh yes,
for
nothing for working people. They're a neoliberal party.
It's a neoliberal party.
Yeah, totally.
The neoconservative party is called the Liberal Party.
Yes.
And they're not liberal at all.
No.
They're culture warriors.
Yes.
Yes.
And
oh my God,
Yeah. And we've got some real wackadoos in Parliament. I mean,
We do.
like I thought that we would never have the sort of wackadoos that the US has. You know, like some of the things that GOP politicians say are just absolutely outrageous. But we actually now have a few people in our own Parliament that say outrageous things like that now. Hey, and get away
Yeah.
with it, Didi.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, like about 25, 30 years ago, if politicians said the kind of things then that they're saying now, honestly, they would have been just driven out, wouldn't they,
Yeah.
Didi?
Yeah.
Like, but now it's like it just floats by, just like corruption floats by in this country, like
And
it
just
does
like
in the US.
United States, I mean,
Yeah.
if Nixon
Hi,
was
Jeffrey.
doing the stuff he was doing then, now nobody would notice. I mean,
What's
what's
that?
a bit of
Oh,
spying
yes.
on people?
Oh, Nixon, yeah. I mean, yeah, like as if that, like now the NSA spying on everybody all the time and everything they do. But Nixon was bad, you
Yeah.
know, with the Watergate
Yeah.
thing.
He
Yeah.
was terrible and had to be impeached. Yeah.
He had to be impeached. Exactly. He had to be impeached. Now they're spying on them all the time, every single thing. Phone calls, emails, etc. The billions of data every single day, and that's just fine and goes on unabated, even though it was actually deemed as unconstitutional, but it still goes on, doesn't it, Dee Dee?
Yeah.
Oh, and David McBride, I think he can't do any more interviews now. I think he's got his court case in the beginning of January, and so yeah, he's not getting much attention. But there's an ex-politician, Nick Xenophon, who had his own party. He's representing him, his law firm, and I hope that he's good. And yeah. So who knows what's going to happen there?
Yeah.
They'll probably try and make an example of him as much as possible. And I'm sure that, and you know what's really fascinating about this? I don't know if you've seen that Four Corners documentary on it's called Killing Fields, and it's about those war crimes in Afghanistan. You can find it on YouTube. And they never once mentioned any U.S. Sort of bad
Similar
behavior,
things in the
war
United
crimes and
States.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost as it's just like it's in this
It's
vacuum.
an aberration.
Yeah.
There's a few bad apples.
Yes. There's a few bad psychopaths, and the rest of the military are just fabulous and do lawful and unlawful killings. You know, these are unlawful killings, but all the rest of it, where people are just trying to protect their homeland from an occupational Western
It's like the
imperialist force.
extrajudicial killing.
Yeah, that's okay. You can murder and bomb, sort of lawfully, people that are just trying to protect their own country from an occupational, monstrous, insane empire. That's okay, and that's considered lawful. I mean, the whole framing of this makes me sick.
Yeah.
And the the Australian Parliament are just US lackeys. That's why Assange is probably going to be, if he doesn't get extradited, he's just probably going to rot in Belmarsh prison, because all these politicians, except for maybe one or two, like even the guy
Hi, Jeffrey.
who used to speak out for Julian Assange. Well, there's actually who is it? The guy who's the surfer in the Greens Party. What's his name?
Which one?
Adam
Bandt?
No, not that one. No, he's not doing anything. The
What-
leader of the Greens Party is
Who are you talking about? Not Bob Brown.
no, God no, darling.
Who are you
He's not
I missed
he's
whatever
not
you
even
said.
he's not even in the picture anymore.
No.
Let me see. Oh, anyway, the leader of the Greens. He
Oh,
doesn't say
Di
anything.
Natale.
No. The surfer, the Greens surfer in federal
yeah.
Parliament.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name. Anyway, he's done some speaking out. And the guy, Rex Patrick, who was speaking out for Assange, he hasn't done it in quite a while. And now I see him pushing anti-Chinese propaganda on his Twitter thing. I mean, they just make me want to vomit, these people. They're such US lackeys, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, Kevin Gostola on Shadowproof. If you haven't subscribed to his channel yet, it's Shadowproof, SHADOW proof, PROOF, and Kevin Gostola, he did a lot of documentation about Julian Assange during the trials, and I think he's actually going back to the UK early February to for that final trial, and he's really great, Kevin Gostola. And he'll be covering at some point David McBride, and he covers a lot of the whistleblower stuff, because there's a lot of whistleblowers, not just Edward Snowden and not just Julian Assange, David McBride. There's like David Hale, there's Daniel Hale, who's the drone whistleblower. There's a number of people, Reality Winter and different ones, and they're all and they all deserve, to be freed, sort of thing. They all deserve to be pardoned, in quotes, not that they've done anything wrong. So anyway, he's worth subscribing to, and he's a nice fellow. Daniel Hale, Hail, I think it is. How are you, Jeffrey? Oh, Carly says, hope everyone manages to have a decent holiday. Okay, so you're going, Carly, so have a good holiday.
Yes.
And I'd love to see those photos. And thanks so much for sending that great information. Carly sent me some great information about the normalization of violence in children and all of that kind of thing. It was very interesting, which I still have to look into. Everything sort of went pear-shaped just recently, and
yeah. Yes, it did.
Oh wow, we've been going for almost 2 hours now. That's amazing, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Anyway, that whole China stuff.
The what?
That whole China stuff. Every time I see an Australian politician or some official sort of going, I don't understand. I don't understand why China is blocking our exports. I just have to laugh. I just think, oh, are you serious?
Really? You don't you can't figure that one out by yourself?
Yeah. And then implying like they're just this irrational monolith that's just trying to cause havoc. It's honestly, it's just so sad. You have to laugh because it's so bad. And if there are any of those stupid, stenographers on Sky News and all those other places, if they weren't that, they would just say, you don't understand?
Yeah.
You don't understand why they might be doing that?
Why do you think?
Yeah, well, why do you think they might be doing that?
Yeah.
And actually try to extract them. I mean, just get some, extract some answer out of them would be great. I can't work out whether they're doing all this want to actually have a war with China, or they're just trying to increase weapons sales and help out their corporate weapons industry buddies. And by the way, the ASP, the Australian Strategic Policy Institute here, which is funded by the weapons industry, which advises Australian Parliament, are so evil.
Yeah.
They they have been for some time now pushing this war on China, and like blog post after blog post, sort of webinars and just whatever sort of gatherings that they have, like these sort of meetings. They're just a warmongering think tank that's that's connected to the U.S. It's you may as well have some of the major neocon think tanks in the U.S. just basically, it's just an arm of that, and they're so evil, and so they're just constantly pushing for this war on China at the moment. It's just awful.
Yeah.
They're like that almost like that present danger China, which is, they're almost like this present danger China that is, I don't know if you heard what I was just saying. Oh, I'm sorry, Jeffrey. I was saying that the Australian Strategic Policy Institute is just, it's funded heavily by the weapons industry. I noticed that it's funny. I did this video on them about a year and a half ago, and I was showing these screenshots of all the weapons industry manufacturers that are sponsoring the Australian Strategic Policy Institute. And then the next time I went back to their site, about a month or so later, it seemed like all those little icons for those industries vanished. But they're still funding them, all of them, like the Bay Systems and Grumman Northrop or whatever, or Northrop Grumman, I always get that confused, and Lockheed Martin, and all of them are all funding that Australian Strategic Policy Institute, and they're heavily pushing for a war on China. It's just like article after article after article. There's they have webinars, and they have like these meetings of people from all around the place, and it's all about the problem of China, in quotes, the threat of China, and they inform the Australian Parliament. They're just an arm of the US national security state. So this is what we have informing and advising the Australian Parliament here.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's wonderful.
It's just awful. So anyway, and if people haven't already done this, there's a Pivot to Peace is the name of a Chinese American group that is trying to sort of stop this war on China. So they're called Pivot to Peace. It's pivottopeace.org, I think it is, or pivotpeace.org, and they also have a YouTube channel, and they do various live streams. And gee, it's sad to watch, because like you get all these different Chinese American people all trying to appeal to the sanity, of and the sort of.
And there isn't any. And
they don't. They're. I mean, these people that want these kind of things, these people that are starving or sort of sanctioning Iran and killing people as U.S. sanctions on Venezuela and killed, I don't know, between 40,000 and 100,000 people, or any of these sanctions over the decades, like the one during the 90s, which killed 500,000 Iraqi children. Which Madeleine Albright said was worth it. All these people are psychopaths, and how can you appeal to them?
Yeah.
Like, if I've actually subscribed to the Atlantic Council on YouTube, and almost every day they have a live stream. They disallow comments, probably because people would be, really having a go at them. But the Atlantic Council is, a major neocon think tank, which is imperialist, and it informs Facebook. It actually helps censor on Facebook. It helps censor on Twitter, and they are always it's just a complete propaganda thing on YouTube. and it's always talking about other countries in these kind of paternalistic, imperialist terms, like they should have say in everything that goes on everywhere at any time. It's also ecocidal. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're disgusting.
They're disgusting. And these people who are doing this are also getting like six-figure salaries. You know, they're making a truckloads, like the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, all those people there, and there are literally dozens of people working at that ASPI, and they're all getting huge salaries to grind out propaganda about China right now. There's dozens of them, all dedicated to putting out propaganda about China.
Yeah.
And then feeding it to the Australian Parliament, and then feeding it to the Australian people. And now, you know, we've got wackadoo people are all paranoid about China now, a lot of people here. I mean,
Well, I think there's that underlying bigotry that's
yes,
kind of been there. It's like, okay, people are kind of okay with China because they're a nice other race, you know.
yeah,
And they're supposed to be smart, and they're our trading partner and all that stuff.
yeah,
But as soon as you scratch a little bit of the surface,
yeah,
there's that
yeah,
that
really,
discrimination and racism,
yeah,
and it's just disgusting.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. It really bothers me.
Yeah. What bothers me is how easily people just. I mean, why didn't people, when Obama said, you know, this pivot to Asia thing, why didn't people at the time say, what on earth are you talking about? And
Yeah.
why is it that, like, say 5 years ago, everything was fine with China? Like, before that pivot to Asia thing that Obama was doing,
Yeah.
everyone was just totally, on the surface anyway, fine with China.
Yeah.
Everybody was fine with Russia. You know, Putin was going around, you know, meeting at the G8 and all these different things, and everybody was just treating him like he was like everybody else. And now, you know, they're the most evil people on the planet. You know, China is this monolithic evil sort of a thing, and
It's
Russia is this,
one of the
you know,
evil empire. I mean,
yeah.
God,
And-
that's an overused term.
Yeah, but this is the thing. It's like, how easily propagandized are we that we go from that and everybody's fine to then the next thing, boom, you know,
Everybody's evil.
everybody's paranoid and totally bought the propaganda. Like, that's what worries me, how easily people just kind of can turn on a dime against countries for no reason,
Yeah.
except for what they've been told. And what they're told is really not much in the way of facts. It's all just, they're evil. They're evil. It's like they don't even, and the things, if they are any supposed facts, that it's just propaganda. But it's like, you know, all you need to be told now is that a country is evil,
Yeah.
and then everybody starts jumping on board with that.
That they're undemocratic, and of course they're always, you know, terrorizing some minority, yeah, as if, you know, other countries don't, you know, have problems with minority groups.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the United States and what it does with black people, and shoots people in the street.
What's
it
that?
chokes people to death.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like-
yeah. Oh, and did you hear? Oh, hang on. I'll just read what Omar was saying. China is spreading its imperialism only by peaceful means, like business deals. They are buying everything up, not dropping bombs. Yeah, I'm not sure about buying everything up, but yeah, they're doing a lot of and they're also doing a lot of what do they call that, Didi? Sort of helping countries
Oh, yeah, they're
building
doing
themselves.
the
Of course,
Belt
that's
and Road thing with
yeah. Of course, you know,
with
they're doing
trade.
it with carrots, not sticks. Sort of, you know, a
Yeah.
kind of a night.
they're actually helping countries
yeah, helping other countries
develop and that kind of stuff,
yeah,
which of course is good for them in an
Yes.
imperialist
yeah,
sense,
yeah,
but it is also really good for those other countries.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is why they're doing it.
Yeah, and they're also
Yeah.
helping circumvent
And
some of the awfulness of the U.S. sanctions too
Yeah,
on
it
Iran.
starts breaking down that U.S. monopoly
Yeah,
on imperialism and control of other nations' resources.
yeah, that's right.
And
I love the way China, Russia, and Iran are all, and Venezuela are all starting to sort of cooperate with one another and try and sort of help
yeah, they need to
get
get
through
back
this
to
awful
BRIC.
sanctions that the U.S. has imposed on Iran and Venezuela.
They need to get back to BRIC.
Yeah, like the Grey Zone was saying how Iran has actually started some kind of a market or something in Caracas in Venezuela. So you know, to sort of help with some of these sanctions and stuff. So it's sort of I think that's great, you know, because
Yeah,
as Assad, was it Assad? Assad in Syria said, you know, it's a multipolar. It's become a multipolar world, and the U.S. does not want to accept that.
yeah.
So anyway. Oh yeah, Brazil,
No, the U.S. wants to be the dominant force
but maybe not
where
so
it can
much
do
Brazil
anything it
now.
wants.
According to a study, According to a study, Omar said China gave fair prices to Africa when building up their infrastructure. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I'd like to see how China's forest cities are going. They've been sort of designing these forest cities where there's just all trees all over the building.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
yeah,
I'd really like that. You know, trees on the outside of the building, and so that's one of their plans, which I think is an incredibly healthy plan. What does Caitlin Johnson always say, Holly? What was I gonna say? Little girl sitting on my lap. She's so sweet. She likes a cuddle, doesn't she?
she does.
Roger Stone's turned out to be a good. Not Roger Stone. Is it Roger? What's his name? Roger from Waters. Roger Waters from Roger Stone. That would
Roger
be bad.
Waters. Roger Waters.
Roger Waters, yeah, that's what I said. Roger Waters, yeah. He's turned out to be pretty good. He's quite the lefty. I didn't realize what a lefty he was, excuse me, until he started speaking about Julian Assange, and then you sort of see that he's, he's pro-Palestinian, all that kind of stuff, free Palestine. He's turned out to be really good. I hope he's throwing some money toward leftist journalist sites and stuff. That would be good. Yeah, two very different Rogers. Yeah, Roger Stone. Dee Dee was telling me that Bannon, you might be interested in this, Omar. I don't know. What's his name? Bannon. What's his first name?
Which one?
Bannon. You know.
Oh,
Breitbart
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
What's his first name?
Oh, God, I forgot. Steve?
Anyway,
Steve Bannon?
Steve Bannon, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm a bit out of it. So
Oh.
Steve Bannon, Dee
I'm
was
all right
saying,
as much
was actually
as I
putting up
don't
money. No, sorry, he was representing the guy who was putting up money for
The guy who
the-
was putting out money for
the Biosphere
the
2.
Biosphere 2,
yeah, which
which was that big project in Arizona.
yeah.
Um,
And I thought, wow, he's right way back then in the 90s.
yeah,
Steve Bannon, and it ended up that guy who he was representing, what was his name?
Ed Bass.
He ended up kind of sort of messing it up, didn't he?
Well, he had been working with the Synergias for a number of years, probably over a decade at that point.
Yeah.
And doing a lot of funding of stuff. and then he basically decided he didn't like them anymore and wanted to take over.
Right.
And he got Steve Bannon to take legal action to dissolve the partnership.
Right. Isn't that amazing how this Steve Bannon, who looks like, I'm sorry to say this, but he looks like he's rolled out of bed and then rolled through an op shop. Like he just looks like he hasn't had a shower or a shave in ages, and looks like he sort of spends his time, I don't know, it just doesn't look like he's a very functional. And I mean, he's also turns out he's a domestic violence perpetrator too as well. But anyway, but here he is, sort of. It's like he's dotted throughout history, meddling and stuff, and then dropping out. And then just when you think he's gone, just when you think he might be going to go to jail, which I don't know what's going to happen, because he's embezzled money with that Trump wall and stuff, collecting money for a Trump wall and keeping it. You just sort of, isn't that so typical? You just sort of wonder, though, how these characters keep on going, and I sort of have to wonder a bit about that, you know?
Yes.
And speaking of weird things, like Dee Dee actually used to be involved in the Sannyasins, which was
the Synergias and the Sannyasins.
Yeah,
two different organizations.
Two different things, and one of them, you've probably seen the movie, the documentary, Wild Country, which is really just the worst aspects of what happened at
Forum. Yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah, with that whole thing.
Yeah, and it was actually a really great venture, wasn't it, Dee Dee, there? You were involved in that, weren't you? But there was one person who was messing it up.
Yeah.
In particular.
Well, no, there were a whole group of them, but
but I mean, it was a core group of people who were trying to basically, they were poisoning people. They were even trying to poison Osho. And I actually think if it was looked into closely, and maybe it already has been, but I bet you there is some either FBI or something, or CIA messing in there, because they were
because she managed to leave with millions of dollars.
Yeah.
She ended up getting a huge charge for attempted murder and all kinds of things like that.
Yeah.
And then she was out in 2 years.
Yeah, she was out in 2 years. Now, doesn't that sound suspect? She tried to
how
murder
on earth
people.
Could you have gotten out?
Yeah, she was poisoning people.
Poisoning U.S. government officials.
Yeah. And she went to prison for 2 years and was let out. Now, doesn't that sound like some kind of an FBI or CIA sort of a plant?
That's what happens with most people who are Indians
and Osho was actually an anti-imperialist, wasn't he? And it was at the time, and you know how the U.S. government was so paranoid about any movements, particularly anybody who's anti-imperialist, getting any foothold, and the sannyasins actually had like 10,000 people, didn't they?
Yeah, there were about 10,000 people living there. They had a lot more than that.
Yeah. Well,
but, I mean,
and he was
there with that many people in Oregon.
Yeah, but it's interesting though that the efforts that like this woman Sheila, who was who was poisoning people and basically ended up destroying the whole thing, really, didn't she?
Yeah.
It's interesting that she went to prison for 2 years and was out after 2 years, even though she was poisoning people there.
Yeah.
So, I just sort of smell U.S. security state involvement in that, because Osho was anti-imperialist. But anyway, that was just something I just wanted to throw in there. Because otherwise, it was actually a really great thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, whatever criticism people may have of the whole thing, whether he's a guru or whatever.
Yeah.
the actual Rajneeshpuram was pretty amazing. I mean, it was 10,000 people living essentially without money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and growing their own food. It had its own bus service, its own welding shops and machine shops and
Yeah.
wood shops and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was, the Big Muddy Ranch where it was basically kind of a rundown desert, overgrazed thing in a very arid area.
Yeah.
And the sannyasins who were working there set up water recycling and water reclamation things, wastewater programs that were very environmental, a lot of solar collectors and that kind of stuff. They actually had federal government wastewater people coming out to look at it because it was an example of some of the best stuff they'd ever seen.
Right.
They used to send people out for training to look at it and see what could be done.
Right.
And that was all pretty great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hey, Didi, do you want to share that link I just put in there that probably won't come up? It's the. I just thought people might enjoy this video. Excuse me. It's by Cheap Lazy Vegan called "I Tried Making Tiramisu. Cook with Me," and
it works.
And it's really
Trish
funny.
made it.
No, I didn't make it.
No, you made tiramisu.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Off of that recipe.
Yeah, sure.
And it worked.
Yeah. Anyway, anyhow, it's funny because she's drinking some wine while she's making it, and she gets a little bit tipsy, and it's really quite hilarious.
Yeah.
So you get to learn how to make vegan tiramisu, and you get to see a very funny video at the same time. So anyway, I made it, and it was quite nice, wasn't it, Didi?
Yeah.
It was actually yummy, really.
Yeah.
And hi, Eve. Hi. Well, hi. Did you wake up, Eve?
He's a funny little one.
Yeah. He looks a bit all dreamy-eyed. He's just woken up.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, it's a great tiramisu recipe.
Yeah. Excuse me. I don't know.
Steve Bannon is an evil heap of shit.
Yeah. Well.
Excuse me, I shouldn't say things like that.
But what is happening anyway with Steve Bannon and that thing where he's embezzled money and stuff? I mean, I haven't heard anything about him. What's happening with him?
I don't know. What is happening with him?
I don't know. And what's Donald Trump saying lately on Twitter? It's always a sort of like what oh, here he is. What kind of sort of things is he prattling on about now? Is he still going on? Yep, he's still going on about the election. Oh, he's living in his own little world.
Funny. Yeah.
And of course he's pardoning all these sort of war criminals and corrupt GOP politicians and 15 people. And I don't expect we're going to see Julian Assange or any whistleblower on that, unless he leaves it to the last minute, like a final FU to...
Unless he wants to seem like a real good guy.
Well, unless it's just a final FU to, because it's got nothing to do with those people.
Yeah.
To FU to Hillary Clinton.
Hello, little one. Oh,
although,
my.
if he's going to run in 2024, he probably won't want to piss off the U.S. national security state too much. because if he's going to have to work with them again. Anyway, who's that? Good God.
I'm going to have to go and feed a little cat.
I don't know what he's just tweeting. He's tweeting about voter fraud, and he said oh no, that was back in 2014, and he's retweeted it. He's retweeted something from 2014 when he made more sense. Oh, I don't know if this is sensible though. I hope we never find life on other planets, because there's no doubt that the US government will start sending them money. What does that mean? Sending them money. What
Always
is he talking
doing charity.
About? Oh, really? Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Anyway.
Just rubbish. Oh.
Excuse me. Oh, here's Lorna. Oh.
What's that? Oh, hi,
Excuse
Lorna.
me. Omar said, I pray that they free Assange. He is a hero. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
I
Assange
can't.
is definitely a hero. I don't know. I feel so incredibly sad
Yeah,
about what they've done to that poor man.
yeah, really. Yeah, they've.
Because I think at this point, I'm not sure what he'll be able to do.
No.
You know, I think he's been so
Yeah, traumatized and stuff.
traumatized, buggered up.
And physically messed up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't honestly, the mind boggles. I don't know how on earth he lasted, 7 years in that tiny room. I mean, I honestly, the thought of it, when it was happening, just even the thought of it made me feel claustrophobic and kind of panicky, to be stuck basically in this small area for years.
You think of Chelsea Manning too, and how often they've put her in prison, and now they just
and
we can
naked.
just put you in prison anytime we want.
Yes, exactly. I mean, and she seems to be really kind of messed up now. I'm sorry to say, she seems quite traumatized, and you look at her and she's got this kind of flat effect when she does her live streams on Twitch. She just doesn't look happy. I don't know, and why, I think she's been really psychologically traumatized.
Yeah.
And what was I going to say about? So anyway, Kevin Gustol is certainly somebody to follow on Shadowproof on YouTube about Julian Assange. I was really kind of disgusted the other day. I turned on Consortium News on YouTube to watch something about Julian Assange, and sometimes they have okay stuff on there, but
On what?
They interviewed on Consortium News on YouTube. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Consortium News before Parry died was doing okay, but now I don't know. And anyway, on the on this channel, they were interviewing this Australian politician who's actually a real right winger, and a right winger so much that he was saying how great Trump was, and how he was great with
Oh,
good with
There's
freedom
some
with good
really-
with freedom of speech. Didi,
yeah.
this senator, he's a senator from, I think it was Queensland, and he's a real right winger, right?
Yeah.
And they're interviewing him, and he's saying shit like that, and all because he supports Assange, and not probably for the reasons that we would hope he would too. I had to tune out after a while because I just thought, oh my God, why are you giving this? I don't. Sure, it's great if he wants to do that, but why he was just such a right wing nut job that I thought,
Yeah.
why are you interviewing him?
Yes.
And unfortunately, like, maybe I'm wrong, but unfortunately, but I don't think, even like, if right wing conservative nut jobs are supporting Assange for whatever reason, that's fine if they want to do that, but why would a supposed leftist site
Yeah. Interview them.
these people and give them the time of day when, like, anybody? I mean, Biden, of course, is dreadful, but I mean, Trump, to say things like, to give somebody airing who's saying Trump is for freedom of speech and everything, and he's done a good job in this and that. I mean, please, you know,
Yeah.
in the name of all that's good, just stop. You know, that's just awful to
Yeah.
give people that are saying nonsense like that. And then to sit back and not challenge them, all because, like, they were sitting back and letting him prattle on, right? All because he supports Assange and not challenging him on any of that. And I've noticed that some like that, some of those sort of Assange supporting sites don't care if they've got, like, they'll interview full-on right-wingers like Cernovich, who's basically said rape is fine. He's a major misogynist. He's got some sort of weird ties to Epstein somewhere there through what's his name, Dershowitz, the lawyer, Alan Dershowitz, that's it. Anyway, sort of like Posobiec, giving Posobiec some time, these sort of people who are not friends of the left. And I think, why are you doing that,
Yeah.
Like, let them promote the, support Assange thing if they want to on Twitter and all of that. But why interview them, these people like that?
Yeah. Yes. Why give them
Giving them a platform.
any platform of
Yeah.
space?
Like, if Steve Bannon started coming out for Julian Assange, are they going to interview him and sort of, let him sort of spread his BS
Well,
everywhere?
Sarah Palin's come out.
Yeah, Sarah Palin has come out. Well, why don't they interview her too? You know what I mean? Like, why not just interview anybody who's, you know what I mean?
Who's a
And
fan.
I'm terribly cynical, I sort of thought, when Sarah Palin came out, and that's great if she came out. Like, I'm not saying it's not great that if people come out for Assange, like, I want him, I desperately want him to be freed, because it's just awful. Like, I can't stand it, really. I can't even stand thinking about it anymore. It's so awful. But,
Yeah.
like, when Sarah Palin came out, I thought, oh, well, if Trump's going to run in 2024, maybe she's looking for a VP gig. I know that's terrible, but that's what I thought, because I don't think, like, I don't think she's suddenly, all of a sudden, got a change of heart about anything good. Julian Assange, like, she was out for blood in the beginning about Julian Assange. Now, all of a sudden, she cares. Please.
Yeah.
So anyway, but whatever her motivation, it's good that she said something. But it's appalling that we've got all these people on the left, a supposed left, saying nothing. And then we've got, wackadoos like Sarah Palin. you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, oh, it was awful. I was just watching that interview with that Queensland politician, and I just thought, oh no, you know. And I remember somebody was in the live stream when this Queensland politician said, and you know, Trump's for free speech, and then this person just put a row of those laughing faces, you know.
Yes.
It's exactly. So I did the same, and and then somebody complained like, we welcome all people who support Assange. Yeah. Okay then.
Yeah. Yeah. No matter what their position
Yeah.
are. Well, probably they
Like
do.
if Goebbels wanted to, if
Anybody,
Goebbels supported
anybody
Assange,
who's going to help get him out, I mean,
yeah. If Goebbels or Himmler wanted to support Assange, we'd interview them.
well, you can say they're welcome to support Assange, but you don't necessarily want to interview them
Yeah. Yeah.
and give them a platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard something funny, Omar. Oh, you might have heard this on Robbie Martin's Media Roots episode about the guy they interviewed who did a lot of investigative reporting within the CIA. He was interviewing a lot of CIA agents about the Phoenix program. I don't know if you heard that. Anyway, if people aren't familiar with Media Roots Radio, with Robbie Martin and Avi Martin, they did. Robbie Martin did an interview with this guy. Oh, what's his name? Something Douglas or Douglas something, who has a couple of books out, but did probably is the only person that's really been able to interview CIA agents, and they started thinking that he was actually in the CIA and started giving him a lot of information maybe that they wouldn't normally have given, and he got to interview them for like 3 years about the Phoenix program before they started shutting their doors on him because they realized he wasn't inside the CIA sort of thing.
He wasn't actually one of them.
One of them, yeah, one of us. And so anyway, he did an interesting interview there, and he was talking about Daniel Ellsberg and how Daniel Ellsberg was a part of the CIA for a while and was in Vietnam and was actually a bit of a character. I can't remember the details, but for a few years there he was part of that. And and that's something you don't hear. People wouldn't know about him. You know, the Pentagon Papers guy?
The what?
The Pentagon Papers guy, Daniel Ellsberg.
Oh, yeah.
He was in Vietnam and part of the CIA and was up to some no good there, I think. Anyway.
The Phoenix program. Mm.
That's where they were I'm not saying he was assassinating movement leaders in Vietnam, but that's what the Phoenix program was.
Yeah. Oh. Let's see.
Yeah, it's an interesting listen, Omar, that particular episode. I think it was the most recent one. I might have to go soon, Dee Dee.
What's that?
I might have to go soon. I'm kind of...
Yes.
I'm kind of a bit...
It's actually getting close to 2:30 in the morning here.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we might wrap it up here, do you think, Dee Dee?
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, thank you so much for dropping by, Omar and Lorna, and
yes, it was lovely.
Oh, sorry, I missed Lorna's
Comment.
Lorna said, giving me things to look up instead of cleaning house.
Yeah.
Pivot to Peace and
Sannyasin
and Cheap Lazy Vegan.
Yeah.
Trish and Dee Dee, thanks for being so interesting. Oh, thanks for dropping by, Lorna, and
Yeah. Well,
and that's great. Let's see. And Omar said, "Oh, I was there. I probably left my computer for a bit when they mentioned the Phoenix program." Yeah, that was not last time, but the time before that, on Robbie's live stream, and the Media Roots Radio. It's on. It's on there. I'm actually going to get those 2 books by that author on Audible and have a listen to them, because I think because the CIA has so much to do, so much meddling all over the world, and they're worse than the mafia. It's actually really good to sort of know in some ways how they operate and get a little bit of an inside, like a psychological sort of a, kind of get a bit of an idea of how they do it. Like, so I'm sort of fascinated with how they manage to co-opt different people in sort of movements and infiltrate, because they infiltrate sort of everywhere from the mainstream media, to corporations, and they basically, and they just kind of sit there like a little seed waiting for an opportunity to to act, kind of thing. There's sort of the infiltration is kind of fascinating. And somebody, I forget who said this, but said that the CIA is the invisible army of capitalism, and that's so true. When capitalism's inextricably linked to imperialism. I think that was Lenin that said that. Anyway, so anyhow, we don't really consider this this necessary podcast. This is really just supposed to be us hanging out, isn't it, Dee Dee?
yeah.
But then,
Yeah.
but then we end up talking about issues and stuff. Really, we're really just supposed to be sitting here and just hanging out and just chatting. But then I end up running off at the mouth.
It's
and then
really a bit of a social thing.
yeah, it's supposed to be a social thing.
Well, we get to talk to people,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
rather
Yeah.
than expressing a single idea and trying to do it well, or dealing with a couple of issues or whatever.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Anyhow, it's lovely that everybody joined up, and thank you so much for everybody for the kind comments on my most recent video about my brother's dying, and because
Yeah.
it's going. I'm actually not in a great way, and sort of a bit broken at the moment. Really, I have to
Yeah.
be honest and say I'm
But
not in a
this
good way
helps,
at all.
doesn't it, Trish?
Yeah, it does help. Yeah, I sort of find I'm actually quite depressed at the moment, and always kind of on the verge of tears, and it's sort of a really it's going to take me a while to sort of psychologically kind of adjust to things, and
Yeah.
sort of and work through the sadness of it all.
I mean, we end
Um,
up dealing with, there's so few real connections with
Thanks,
people
Emma.
face to face,
Yeah,
and so many nice connections with people online,
yeah,
but you don't actually get to see them face to face,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's sad.
Yeah, I mean, we have,
Um,
friends around the place, and there's lovely people in the street here, but it's like, there is no really much opportunity to kind of, where do you come out and say, oh, my brother's just died, and then, and then there's all the other stuff too. You don't want to sound like you're bad-mouthing anybody, but it's like, it's such a complex thing when you sort of, in this case, where, you sort of love someone and they've just been kind of, I mean, we may as well just call it what it is, abusive pretty much all the whole time of your life, and then they suddenly die, and then you're sort of left with this sort of, it's just so incredibly sad, and but you
Yeah.
can't really just come out and say that to people, when you're passing in the street, and sort of like, and and my family don't really talk to me about anything. So it's like, and that's one of the reasons I did the video, because it's like having a witness to something. Because there is really, apart from Dee Dee and maybe, I don't know, apart from Dee Dee and maybe one or two people, maybe, I don't know. There really isn't any witness to this, really.
No.
And the family aren't that interested, so it's sort of like, and I think to sort of actually move past it, it's important for me to kind of acknowledge it and be able to realize the sort of really negative effect on the whole it's had on me, really, because it's been sort of like, it's just really messed up, basically. I mean, I don't know what else you can say. It's just really messed up.
Yeah.
Anyway, so anyhow, so thanks so much for everybody joining, and thanks for all the kind comments. It's really, really appreciated, and
that's lovely.
And I'm sure we'll probably do this again in a couple of weeks.
And Omar says, hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know. I think it takes a while to feel better, but I think all of this really helps.
Yeah, it does. It really does help.
People
have been incredibly kind, especially on Robbie Martin's live stream and in the comments. It's all really, really lovely that people are so kind.
People
and
like you, Omar, and Lorna and Holly and
Jeffrey and
all of our friends that we see. It's just so lovely.
And Carly. There's all the different ones on Robbie's live stream. All those, it's just been really great. Anyway, darling, do you reckon you could
close it down?
Up? So
I can.
I hope that hold on. I'll just say there's something about the Christmas thing, the holiday thing. So I hope if you're not able to spend time with actual family for whatever reason, then I hope that you're able to connect with people who care about you and so that because this time of year can be difficult for a lot of people, and so I hope that whoever you end up connecting up with at this time has a really kind and positive effect on this period for you. So, and happy holidays, and
if
we'll
you're
probably
if you're a person who belongs to a marginalized community, consider like doing a some sort of a what do you call it, an orphan's Christmas?
Oh yeah, an orphan's
or
Christmas,
something like that.
Yeah, Didi used to go around to different went before you
different communities I belong to had that kind of thing where a lot of people didn't have family that they could go visit and so on.
Yeah.
And so we would organize orphan Christmas sort of things where we would go from like a champagne breakfast, somebody else would hold a brunch, someone else would hold lunch.
I wished
and
I
it would
knew
just go
you
on all day long.
Yeah.
And into the evening. And people who did have family, might go to the breakfast and then go and visit their family and then come back and go to a party in the evening.
Oh.
But people who had nothing could go from one to the other to the other.
Oh, yeah.
And it is great. It really helps bond communities, and it also looks after those people who've been kind of rejected for whatever reason, whether it's because of who they are or because their family are just awful or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes. Okay, well, I'll let you shut it down, Dee Dee. So
happy holidays to you all.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Shut this
Much
down
love.
Now.
Much love and big hugs.
Much love. Big hugs to everybody. Now, we'll end the stream. Now.